In the middle of Burkina Faso, something unthinkable was happening. 200 innocent children had disappeared. Some were kidnapped from their homes. Others were orphans, abandoned, forgotten, and left with no one. They were trapped in dangerous gold mines, forced to work like slaves, but then President Ibrahim Traoré discovered the truth, and what he did next, no one expected. Before we begin, tell us in the comments where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. In Burkina Faso, rumors had spread. Children were vanishing from villages, families whispered of kidnappers, but nobody knew where the children were taken. Until one day, fate brought the truth before Ibrahim Traoré himself. It was an ordinary day in a quiet village. The sun was hot, the air dry, and dust rose with every step. President Ibrahim Traoré was visiting to meet the people, to listen to their struggles. He walked through narrow paths, shaking hands, greeting elders, smiling at children. But then, something caught his eye. In the corner near an old clay house stood a boy, frail, barefoot, his clothes torn to pieces. His arms carried deep wounds, fresh and old. His face was pale, his eyes hollow. He looked like he had lived through years of pain, though he was barely 10. Ibrahim took a slow step toward him, but the boy's eyes widened with fear. Before anyone could react, he turned and ran. He ran as if he was running for his life. The villagers were shocked, but Ibrahim followed, not with anger, not with speed, but with calm determination. After a short chase, the boy stumbled and fell. Ibrahim stopped a few feet away, raising his hands gently. "Don't be afraid. I am not here to hurt you." The boy trembled, tears rolling down his dusty cheeks. I can't go back," he whispered. "They will take me again. They will hurt me." Ibrahim slowly kneeled, his voice soft. "My son, tell me your name." The boy hesitated, then said, "My name is Samuel." A silence hung in the air. Then Samuel's lips quivered as he continued. "They took my friends. They took so many children. They beat us. They made us work in the mines. I escaped. But they will find me again." Ibrahim's heart sank. He placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Samuel, no one will hurt you again, I promise." The child looked up at him, his small body shaking, his voice breaking. "There are so many. Sir, more than 100, maybe 200. Please, save them." And in that moment, Ibrahim Traoré's eyes hardened with fire. The truth was no longer a rumor. The horror was real. 200 children, like Samuel, were trapped in darkness. And from that moment, Ibrahim Traoré knew he could not rest until they were free. The night before the operation, tension filled the air. Ibrahim Traoré sat with his commanders, maps spread out on the table. Every path, every guard position, every hidden tunnel was marked. One wrong move. And not only the soldiers, but the children too could lose their lives. The order was clear but heavy. No child must be harmed, not a single one. As the first light of dawn touched the sky, the mission began. Armored vehicles moved silently. Soldiers crept through the thick forest, their footsteps muffled by the soil. The gold mine lay ahead, guarded by armed men who would not hesitate to shoot. Then, a problem. A watchtower guard spotted movement in the trees. He raised his gun. For a moment, the mission almost ended before it began, but a sniper, positioned carefully, took him down before he could sound the alarm. The tension grew heavier. Every second felt like a battle with fate. Finally, the gates of the mine came into sight. The cries of children echoed faintly from within, but they could not storm in recklessly. The kidnappers had weapons, and the children were being used as shields. Ibrahim gave the hand signal. Half the soldiers circled from the left, the other half from the right. A diversion was set, a small blast far away, drawing some guards out of position. And then, it was time. The gates shattered. Gunfire cracked the air. Chaos exploded. Children screamed, unsure if this was another attack to harm them. Some ran deeper inside, terrified. The kidnappers tried to push the little ones forward as cover. For a moment, the mission almost collapsed, but the soldiers moved with precision. Shields up, they advanced carefully, protecting the children while exchanging fire with the criminals. Inside the tunnels, smoke and dust made it almost impossible to see. One child stumbled into Ibrahim's arms, shaking violently. "You are safe now," he whispered, before handing the boy to a medic. Minute by minute, the mine was cleared. Dozens of children pulled out, some unconscious, others too weak to walk. Finally, silence. The gunfire stopped. 200 children stood under the open sky once more. Tears and dust covered their faces, but they were free. The mission was not easy. It was a war against fear, against cruelty, against death itself. But Ibrahim Traoré had done it. President Traoré's first command was not celebration, but care. Every child must go to the hospital. No delay. Buses were arranged. Doctors were waiting. One by one, the children were carried into hospitals. Wounds were cleaned. Broken bones were treated. Food was given. And as the doctors worked, many children cried softly, not from pain, but from the shock of kindness. For months they had known only cruelty. But now, they were safe. But Ibrahim knew medical treatment was only the beginning. These children needed more. They needed love, a home, and a future. So he gave an order: build an orphanage. Within days, a safe place was created: bright rooms, clean beds, warm meals. But Ibrahim added something more. He brought women from across the country to serve as caretaker mothers, women who would hug them when they cried, women who would tuck them into bed, women who would remind them they were children, not slaves. And slowly, the orphanage filled with laughter. Children who once carried stones, now carried books. Children who once lived in darkness, now ran in the sunlight. The mission was over, but Ibrahim Traoré knew the story was not complete. Rescuing the children was only half the battle. The men who had kidnapped them, the men who had stolen their childhood, still walked free. Ibrahim gave a clear order: find them, arrest them. Every single one. Within days, soldiers and police swept across the country. One by one, the criminals were captured, dragged out of their hideouts, handcuffed, and thrown into armored trucks. Some begged for mercy. Others tried to deny their crimes. But the evidence was undeniable. The trials began. Inside the courtrooms, the faces of the rescued children appeared on giant screens. Their pain, their tears, their broken voices were heard by the judges. The silence in the courtroom was heavy until the gavel struck. The kidnappers were sentenced harshly with no chance to escape justice. Standing before the nation, Ibrahim spoke firmly. The children of Burkina Faso are not for sale. They are not slaves. They are our sons and daughters, and I promise you, anyone who dares to harm them again will face the full power of justice. The nightmare was finally over. From the darkness of the mines to the light of freedom, 200 children had been saved. No chains, no fear, no hunger. Instead, they now had doctors to heal them, mothers to care for them, and schools to guide their future. When the children stepped into their new orphanage, many could not believe it was real. Soft beds replaced cold ground. Warm meals replaced empty stomachs. And kind voices replaced the shouts of cruelty. For the first time, laughter filled the air. The same children who once carried heavy stones now carried books. The same children who once wept in darkness now played in the sunlight. But this story is not only about pain and rescue. It carries a message for the world: that no child, anywhere, should ever be forced into labor, slavery, or fear. Every child deserves love, education, and the chance to dream. And above all, it shows us the power of true leadership, because one man chose not to look away. Hundreds of lives were changed forever. What about you? What do you think about Ibrahim Traoré's actions? Should other leaders around the world follow his example? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story touched your heart, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it so the message of hope and justice can reach the world.